Okay, so today we're gonna start to talk about the basics. The basics هن يعني نحن بدنا نحكي اليوم أكثر من شغلة. بدنا نحكي about what kind of financial markets are we working in, what kind of different financial markets out there for us to trade in أصلا. فهمت علي كيف؟ And then we're gonna talk about prop firms, kinds of drawdowns in prop firms. حكينا امبارح في end of day، في static، في أكثر من نوع. وفي عندك شو اسمه البروب فيرم رولز للباي اللي هن الديلي باي اوتس، هن الكونسستنسي رولز، all that kind of stuff حنحاول نغطيها اليوم بحيث انه يكون عندنا فكره where we're going from there. Okay, so the main financial markets that we're going to be focused on هن عندنا فوركس، فيوتشرز وستوكس، كمان في كريبتو. لكن كريبتو is mostly decentralized، ما في عليه regulation، ما في عليه كثير شغلات. I don't like to focus on it و I don't like to trade it لانه it's very unregulated. يعني انت if you noticed last month there was like a financial meltdown from the leveraged trading that there was, and how many people just lost everything and 2,000 people commit suicide just because of that. From just to tell you the magnitude of unregulation اللي عم بصير لدرجة انه يخلي الواحد to commit suicide, which is crazy. فنحن there's Forex, it's the most probably derivative market. Derivative هو أي شيء that's مشتق من الماركت الأساسي. So Forex, you can literally trade anything in it. Anything. Any kind of stock, any kind of anything, Forex has it, probably. Futures, there's different markets for futures, but usually the one we focus on is the... Sorry, بس turn off the fan. I think I got some. Futures, the one we focus on is about the stocks of the US. Okay, anything with that has to do with US economy is what we focus on, of we trade a subsection of that, but this is the market that we focus on, or the marketplace about. Just to compare futures and Forex, okay? So the marketplace about Forex, you don't have just one marketplace. Every broker or every group of brokers في عندهم marketplace معين. That's why you find مثلا, I don't know if you went into the Forex market شوي، هتلاحظوا انه كل بروكر عنده سبريد معين، كل بروكر عنده سعر معين. انت حتى اذا مثلا بدك تفتح هلا I'm just gonna show you something quick. انا مش لماركت مسكر اليوم. If you open هلا مثلا let's go, you want to see Euro USD, right? Euro USD, you see you have like 50 kind of Euro USD. What does that tell you? It tells you انه every broker has their own chart for Euro USD, and each one of them has a slightly different price. In futures not like that. In futures they all have the same price no matter what the broker is. ليه؟ لأنه كلهم بياخذوا الداتا من CME. CME is Chicago Mercantile Exchange. It's basically the marketplace, the regulatory body of the US that regulates that thing. هن they made it this way مشان مو كل واحد يبيع على كيفه، مشان يصير في شوي regulation بالموضوع. إنه you want to trade no problem بس regulated. Okay, so that's why brokers of futures are much harder to manipulate you. They're much harder to play with the spread. أصلا the spread, if you notice, the brokers of future there's no spread, which is insane for scalpers. Plus إنه if you went to a broker, a real broker, you're gonna find the spread أصغر من الفوركس مليون مرة, and during the news it doesn't slip as much. Forex during the news it's unreal كثير. Okay, what can السلع or the assets, what can you sell or buy in Forex and futures? In Forex you can sell and buy anything. حرفيا anything, any stock. Any broker can make any stock and they can sell it to you. Futures in the CME market specifically, we're only focused on anything related to the US economy. So you have metals, you have bonds, you have stocks, you have derivatives of all of that kind of stuff. So all of that you can trade in futures. The price مثل ما حكينا من شوي انه in Forex every broker has their own price, they have their own spread, they have their own slippage. Futures, the price is one, which is, as the more you trade, the more you go into this field, you're going to notice, this thing is an insane thing. The price is one in all brokers. Spreads, as I said, futures there is no spread. Forex there is spread. What is spread? Spread هو الفرق بين سعر الباي وسعر السل. I think you have an idea what spread is, right? So when you scalp, spread matters to you. لأن imagine until you're scalping. Let's go with tools. Let's draw something quickly. The page quickly. Okay, so imagine انت you're مثلا trading. Okay, for this. Okay, let's say انت you bought over here. Green. Let's say انت you bought over here. Okay, and your take profit is over here. حلو. انت you're gonna find انه السعر has two lines, one for the buy and one for the sell. So you're gonna find انه السعر ممكن يجي to this point, okay, it hits this, which is the sell, which is the sell, yeah, no, yeah, it hits which is the buy and this is the sell, because I don't trade Forex, so I can't remember it. So it hits مثلا the buy but doesn't hit the sell, which is your take profit, is the sell, right? Because you bought and you want to sell here. So it hits the buy, doesn't hit the sell, comes here, gets to this point. So it hits your buy, not the sell, and it comes here, takes you out. Why? Because it didn't activate your take profit. So one, it might miss your take profit or gets you out in stop loss. Two, it is gonna cost you money. This difference is money for us. For us, any kind of movement is money. But this difference matters in scalping. Okay. Why do I prefer futures? I think I just said most of those, but we're gonna read them. There's no spread. I really love that one. The market is organized, is regulated, ما فيه نصب, ما فيه احتيال كثير. يعني 99% because there is nothing is 100% as you know. But 99% you're never gonna find a broker in futures that's gonna scam you. And there's something called the book map. تعرف شو البوك ماب؟
لا.
Book map حلاوته, what they did for you, so you know there is no manipulation. You have a system that you can download that we're going to speak about later. مش يعني حلو انه واحد يعرف عنه كثير. It tells you all the pending orders. تعرف شنو pending orders, buy limits, sell limits, هالشغلات هي كلها؟
Yes.
حلو. So this book map tells you all this. It looks something like this. Okay. It tells you all the pending orders in the market from any institution, bank, financial, hedge fund, اللي بدك اياه. بتلاقي هون انت احيانا there's a lot of liquidity. So it tells you what the banks want to do. But when ICT and when a lot of people speak about liquidity, they speak about it from this kind of perspective. And there is liquidity over here. There's a lot of resting orders over here that want to be filled, that want to be tapped وكذا. فإن the book map, only in futures, Forex you don't have that. Only in futures you can see the real orders وين عم بفوتوا وين عم بيطلعوا. انت شلون؟ حتى هم مثلا you can see this kind of, let me zoom for you شوي. This one like that. Yeah. So you see these bubbles over here? These bubbles tell you the volume of people inside the trade right now. So at this area, مثلا 1,000 people bought. At this area, 1,000 people sold. انت شلون؟ But this is all information that you're going to use later for the volume. انت مثلا بدك تعرف قديش في volume بهالمنطقة هي. Is a real move ولا there is a fake out over here. This is book map helps with that كثير. ثالث شيء, in prop firms it's way easier. And as we saw before, the target profit for most of the prop firms are 6%, and it's one step. The prop firms for Forex, most of them are two steps. So step one is going to be 8%. My writing is very bad. Step two is 5%. تخيل. So you have to pass through two stages to get to the funding stage, which is kind of crazy for me صراحة. In futures you don't have that. In futures just 6% are done, and the prices are way cheaper, مو شوي. Okay, so let's talk about what's the CME. هيك so what's the CME? And I want you to see this because you need to have an idea about what the CME is, because نحن what we trade is the nasdaq. Okay, what we trade is the nasdaq, and the nasdaq or the NQ to be more specific. An NQ is it's the asset that you can buy and sell. And the Nasdaq, you can buy it as a ETF. You're familiar with ETFs, زمان غلطان.
Yep.
Hello. So the Nasdaq is an ETF. You can buy it as an ETF and you can hold it as an investment, but it's not really worth it to buy and sell because there's a lot of commissions around it. So to get around that point, they made something called the NQ. It's like a derivative of the Nasdaq. Okay, and they made it in a market, a financial market of the US. اسمه the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. You can get to that through this website. اسمه the CME Group. Okay, the CME Group is responsible for all kinds of futures interactions, transactions, all that kind. A marketplace. السوق الحميدية للأسهم أو للفutures. They sell futures, options, or through that. That's why people in the US, they're not allowed to trade Forex. That's a fact, by the way. People in the US are not allowed to open a Forex account. But they're allowed to open a futures account and they're allowed to trade it and ما عندهم أي مشكلة فيه. فأنت مثلا إذا بدك تقول لي مثلا عمر إنه NQ moves how much can I trade this kind of thing ما أدري شو بدون حتى إذا مثلا ما بدك تسألني روح على CME group write can I trade this? You're gonna find everything they offer. فهمت علي كيف؟ Yeah. Okay, so offers futures, interest rates, Forex, stocks, indexes, or cryptocurrencies. Oh yeah, حتى they have Bitcoin and Ethereum in that exchange. What did I wanted to show you this thing? Okay, so انت in trading view هلا later هيدا بدنا نورجيك كيف تسويها بس انت just to have an idea. In trading view you cannot just get the futures real data right away لأنه it's not available. You have to pay $7 per month for it. فهمت علي كيف؟ هن they made it this way يعني they want to make money. You know what I mean? If you go to trading view there's something called the data package. That's $7 per month. Okay, subscribe to the CME group futures. That's where you get the real data. And for non-professional users, which is us, the traders, we pay this. For the brokers to get the real data, they pay $1,000. So it's kind of crazy. So it shows you here, and you can equity indices, sp500, nasdaq, the Russell, Dow Jones. You can trade all of that. The metals, all of that. Interest rate, you can trade the T notes and the bonds, the micro futures and options for oil, equities. All kinds of stuff you can trade in futures. Then no, why am I trying to tell you all of that? Because later when you learn about all the strategies that we do, you can see that they also apply on some other stuff we're going to talk about later, inshallah. Energies, cryptocurrencies, agriculture, all that kind of stuff. The idea I think is kind of clear here. Okay, so if you have any question مثلا about the CME وحابب انت مثلا تعمل your own research about it, this is the group, this is the website, this is the official website. Open it, see what it is, understand more how they work and how they operate. Because any mistake, تذكر when the AWS of Amazon went down, yeah, we all stopped trading. We all stopped trading because the CME went down. So that's one of the things I want to know. Now let's speak about types of traders, just so you differentiate on what you want to be and what we are. So types of traders, we have position traders. Position traders are mostly banks and hedge funds. What they do, they hold positions for like months, 2, 3, 4 years. Not investors. Investors are something different. They hold through 5, 10 years. Positions traders, هدول اللي هن before. Oh shit! Why did you lose me? You can speak.
No, I can hear you now.
Okay, beautiful. Why did you lose me at the last part?
We're gonna speak about the types of traders.
Beautiful. معناها ما ضيعت كثير. Okay, so position traders نحن بنحكي أول شيء عن position traders. Position traders هن العالم اللي هن مثلا before تتذكر وقت كان موضوع ال GameStop, the GameStop thing. The GameStop thing, the hedge funds who shorted the GameStop were position traders because they were holding the position حتى it gets the profit that you want. But they can hold it for a month or 2 وهكذا. They're not just selling it to like a normal stock. No, they're like leveraging selling it. That's position traders. Swing traders, they're similar to position traders, ولكن they hold the position for less like 5 days, 6 days, maximum a week. They're holding more kinds of a move with less risk, بس إنه شلون إنه they get a lot of the move. طبعا it's higher time frame execution. So انت مثلا when you want to go into a trade with swing, it's like 1 hour. You wait for the 1 hour candle to close to go in. You need a large capital to be worth it. لأن مثلا you're gonna make, let's say 5% a month. 5% a month, you're gonna get at this how many trades? Maybe like 3 a month. If they all work out, it's 5%. So بدك large capital تعتبر إنه okay, it's worth it. So 100k, 5%, 5k ماشي حالة. فهمت علي كيف؟ It's easier to learn. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's way easier to learn swing trading because it's all about patterns. On higher time frame, patterns are more respected than lower time frame for sure. And it's hard to manipulate like a 1,000%, 1,000 point move. It's easier to manipulate a 100 point move. صح ولا لا? But this one is hard to manipulate, and like over time when you watch traders and there's anyone who like becomes very very good at trading and they have other businesses, they all switch to swing trading because it doesn't need that much time on the charts. But they all start as scalpers and then they go to swing trading. But it's not used in futures prop firms because in futures prop firms you can't hold a trade more than 1 day. In futures prop firms only. Okay. day traders معروفين كلياتنا بنعرفون they execute daily and they can hold out the trade throughout the day and it's good for prop firms. Scalpers نحن what we are between scalpers and day traders. Scalpers they hold the trade usually an hour أكثر من ساعة ما كثير بنحب نحن نمسك التريد لأنه خلص إنه that's what we need like the part of the 1 hour candle to take it يعطيك العافية. It's perfect for prop firms because you might take more than 1 or 2 chances per day which is very good for prop firms. They accelerate your profits plus it adds more risk 100% وما بتحتاج كابيتال كثير لأنه أنت you might just take one prop firm account you can trade it multiple times and you're good. فنحن what are we؟ نحن in between scalpers and traders. And for me every week if it's a good month I take 2 day trades and like I take like the high of the day or low of the day. I try, doesn't work every time, but I'm a daily scalper. I daily scalp. I wake up, I wait for the markets to open on New York and I wait and I try to get part of the move. And it's been very, very successful with me today until today, alhamdulillah. Do you have any questions about the type of trade? Because until you're gonna hear like until when you get to this field, you're gonna meet a lot of people randomly by the law of attraction. You're gonna meet a lot of people. You're gonna find traders. So they're gonna ask you what are you, what they are. So you understand how they operate and how you operate. How can you benefit from them? How can they benefit from you in the same way? فهمت علي كيف؟ عندك أي سؤال مثلا؟
Very clear so far.
Beautiful. Now we're gonna talk about prop firms. Okay. Prop firms, I think we have a good idea about it. إنه هي basically شركة ممولة but they want to give you capital so you can trade and then eventually you make money for them and you make money for yourself. Very simple, صح? But how do they do that? أكيد not every prop firm is going to create their own software because software building it costs a lot of money and to have it on a cloud base ومدري شو قصة طويلة. There are 2 main third-party softwares that most prop firms use. في عندك واحدة اسمها Project X which is this one Project X. في عندك واحدة اسمها Tradovate. Okay. هلا إذا we're gonna open an example round for Project X تعال بدي أفتح لك إياها مشان you have an idea on what it is. Yeah, Futures. No, not here. Okay. Okay. Go here, cancel this one. We're going to share the window. Yeah, right here. Okay. So